You're watching the Weather Channel. Weather you can always turn to for accurate, dependable weather forecasts 24 hours a day.
This morning's weather is sponsored by 100% Colombian coffee, the richest coffee in the world.
It is Sunday morning, March the 14th. Thanks for tuning into the Weather Channel. As far as the time goes, it's 9 a.m. in the east and 6 a.m. in the west. We have a lot of stormy weather to tell you about. The blizzard of 93 moving up through the northeastern quarter of the nation and some moisture arriving in the west. Now, the system in the west is nothing like the eastern storm. It's just a little bit of Pacific moisture coming in. There is rain this morning, though, from about Stockton up towards Sacramento, Redding, California. Winnemucca, Nevada has reported some rain overnight and so far today, as well as Salt Lake City and under the clouds at Yuma, Arizona. Kind of a soggy early Sunday morning. However, our satellite is also showing a nice swath of clear skies through the nation's midsection from the Canadian border and the Dakotas southward into Texas. The southeast has cleared out overnight except for the western slopes of the southern Appalachians where there are clouds and a few flurries. Florida under mostly clear skies this morning too. Now, the great storm of 1993 moving rapidly now through the state of Maine and tracking on towards the Canadian Maritimes where it will be located later on today. Let's get the specific position of the low this morning. And as we look at our surface map, here it is. It's north of Portland, Maine, moving off to the northeast at a pretty good clip after dropping record amounts of snow. Very strong and gusty winds. We had wind gusts of 50 to over 100 miles per hour with this system, not to mention the record low air pressures and the very cold air and gusty winds which are following the storm in the east this morning. Once again, a closer view. Here is the low pressure center. It's probably up around Eastport, Maine right now. The heaviest snow is confined currently to northern Maine, back across extreme northern Vermont, the St. Lawrence Valley, and extreme northern New York State, and down in the lee of Lake Ontario, there are perhaps some lake effect, lake-enhanced snowfalls going on between Buffalo and Syracuse, New York. And this is where we expect heaviest additional snowfalls to come down today. Otherwise, the snows are letting up, and there's even been a little sunshine peeking out from behind the clouds in the Hudson Valley, around Glens Falls and Hudson Falls and south to Albany. The real problem today, in addition to the light additional accumulations of snow, will be the strong and gusty winds, the very low wind chill factors, and the blowing and drifting snow over the northeastern quarter of the nation. So we will certainly keep you posted on that. Let's check out some snowfall totals. Can you believe this? Syracuse, New York, 32 inches of snow from the storm. We even had unofficial reports of 40 inches of snow in the mountains of West Virginia at places like Snowshoe and Canaan Valley, one of the high valleys in the central part of the state, reported in with 41 inches of snow from the storm. Albany, New York, 27. That makes it their second biggest snowstorm in history, only exceeded by the Great Blizzard of 1888. State College, 26. 10-foot snowdrifts nearby. 19 inches at Burlington. Boston, 13. Chattanooga, an all-time 24-hour snowfall record, 21 inches of snow. Now, we've also had some snowfalls in Virginia. This is a scene from Roanoke during the day on Saturday, where 16 inches of heavy snow fell, and the mountains nearby were coated with up to 25 inches of snow there in western Virginia. Now, in the wake of the storm, skies have cleared in many areas in the south, and temperatures have plummeted, dropped like a rock. Look at this, Birmingham, Alabama, 2 degrees this morning, the coldest of the winter by far. Mansfield, Ohio at 3. These are all record low temperatures, by the way. Huntington, West Virginia, Asheville, Mobile, Alabama, 25 degrees. Even Daytona Beach, Florida dropped down to 31 degrees this morning. You can see the cold air on the front edge of the high pressure dropping down into the Sunshine State on those northwest winds. And as high pressure moves over Florida tonight, another cold and sub-freezing night is in store for the central and northern part of the state. Well, as we get out of the east, the weather quiets down. We have high pressure in the northern plains and across the Rockies, but farther west, we have moisture moving into California with some light rains now from Sacramento and Merced and Stockton south to the LA basin and a little snow in the highest elevations. It's 60 at San Diego this morning, 56 at San Francisco, while at International Falls, in contrast, it's 19 below zero. The wind chill factor there is minus 23. But chill factors are even lower in the eastern Great Lakes and Northeast because the winds are stronger. The actual temperatures are higher, but the winds are stronger, therefore the wind chills are lower. Minus 22 at New York City and Burlington. In the Good Morning forecast, watch the Maine storm, the major storm, the blizzard of 93, go into the Canadian Maritimes and off the map by Monday morning. In its wake, high pressure moving into the east, while some moisture returns to the west, producing some locally heavy rains and some high mountain snows. In the east today, cold 30s down to southern Alabama, and a very chilly one tonight with below freezing readings down into Florida once again. Meantime, the southwest and the southern plains will be nice and mild through the day on Tuesday and into Wednesday and Thursday as well. The southeast will see a bit of a warm-up by then, while the northern tier states stay rather chilly. Of a warm front tomorrow, heading into the northern plains with some light snow, and after that a low pressure trough digging in and spreading some more light precipitation towards the east midweek, but nothing like the storm that's gone by.
Buying 100% Colombian coffee can be tricky if you don't know what to look for. Because some coffee is only part Colombian, and some coffee isn't any part Colombian. So how can you be sure you're getting the richest coffee in the world? Always look for Juan Valdez. He'll only be on brands that are 100% Colombian coffee. The richest coffee in the world.
Look for the symbol of Juan Valdez on these fine 100% Colombian coffee brands.
Now, your local forecast, accurate and dependable from the Weather Channel. Coming up, a look at your local radar. But first, the current local conditions. The regional forecast. Your local 36-hour forecast from the National Weather Service. The extended forecast. Your local radar, showing any precipitation and its movement during the past 90 minutes. Intensity is indicated by the color code at the top of the screen. Dressing your kids for school can be downright elementary when you watch the school day forecast weekday mornings 35 minutes after the hour on the Weather Channel. Weather you can always turn to.
Skiers forecast is sponsored by Embassy Suites Hotels. For reservations at twice the hotel, call 1-800-EMBASSY. Snow and more snow for the eastern ski resorts. We've had reports of 1 to 2 to 3 feet of new snowfall all the way from the southern Appalachian ski areas to New England over the last 24 hours as the blizzard of 83 has come out of the Gulf of Mexico and on up the East Coast. So if you're hitting the ski slopes today, it'll be powder, knee-deep to waist-deep powder in some cases. 18 inches of new snow at Sunday River, 20 inches at Stowe, 32 inches of new snow at Hunter Mountain in the Catskills in New York with a 116-inch base on the upper mountain. Nearly 2 feet at Sugarloaf and 2 feet of new snow at Stratton, Vermont and Camelback, Pennsylvania. Some light additional snowfall expected, well, maybe a little heavier than light in western Maine. Another 6 inches possible there, but otherwise 1 to 3 inches cold and windy today. Back to partly sunny skies with light snow in the Great Lakes ski area on Monday, and a little more light precipitation possible Tuesday.
For ski conditions at over 400 other ski areas, call 1-900-WEATHER.
Why is Embassy Suites twice the hotel? First, you get a suite with 2 big rooms. Evening beverages are on the house, not on the bill. And our cook-to-order breakfast is free of charge. Obviously, this isn't your typical hotel. It's twice the room, twice the comfort, and twice the value. And it's only at Embassy Suites. Twice the hotel. Call 1-800-EMBASSY.
For reservations at Twice the Hotel, call 1-800-EMBASSY.
If the open road's been calling you, Greyhound's got the answer. Take any trip up to 500 miles for just $49 or less when you buy your ticket 3 days in advance. Every seat, every bus, every day. Greyhound's got great low fares to the places you really want to go. So if you don't want to miss a great deal, don't miss the bus.
Now, your local forecast, accurate and dependable from the Weather Channel. Coming up, a look at your local radar. But first, the 36-hour forecast from the National Weather Service. Extended forecast. The current local radar showing any precipitation in your area. Intensity is indicated by the color code at the top of the screen.
America. You work hard for your money. You deserve a beach. Panama City Beach, Florida. America's travel writers voted Panama City Beach the #1 beach value in the country. Crystal clear water, dazzling sugar white sand, and that warm Florida sunshine. We deliver more fun, more beach for your money. Panama City Beach, Florida. Call 1-800-PC-BEACH.
Panama City Beach is home to the world's most beautiful beaches. Call 1-800-PC-BEACH for information.
And the Florida forecast is sponsored by Panama City Beach, home of the world's most beautiful beach. Let's check it out. Here's the surface map. We have cold, high pressure located over the western Gulf of Mexico. And on the front edge of the high, northwest winds sweeping into the Sunshine State. Those winds have brought some very cold air. It was down to the low 20s this morning around Pensacola, Crestview, and Tallahassee, and even below freezing as far south as Daytona Beach with a record low of 31 degrees this morning. Now the satellite view shows the fair skies, the high pressure off to our west, and the dry, cool air sweeping into the state. A little bit of low cloudiness in southern and western sections should dissipate during the day, and sunshine will be the rule on this Sunday. Here's our sunshine forecast, as a matter of fact, and it is in the abundant sunshine category today as we check out that map for the sunshine on this second half of the weekend. Throughout the state, sunny skies, perhaps beginning as partly sunny conditions in the south. Water temperatures, they're a lot warmer than the air temperatures this morning. 61 at Panama City, 73 Key West and Miami Beach. And a look at high temperatures later today as far as air temperatures are concerned. 44, a chilly day at Panama City. Jacksonville topping out at 48, mid-50s at Clearwater, and the 60s in southern sections.
Skiers, call 1-900-WEATHER for slope conditions at over 400 ski areas worldwide. 95 cents a minute. That's 1-900-WEATHER.
If you're looking for the finest in desks, the Oak Shop is the place to go. We've got desks for the child, the lady of the house, the person who works at home, and even the computer expert. While you're here, don't forget about our accessories designed to complement every room of your home. Our selection of ever-popular false-graft dinnerware is the finishing touch that no home should be without. The Oak Shop, Route 23, Wantage, and Port Jervis.
Want to find an easier way to get rid of soap scum? Better call RainSoft today. Let our qualified water technicians at RainSoft offer you a free in-home water analysis. Call RainSoft at 691-0500. RainSoft has water treatment system rentals starting at $8 a month, sold for $3.99, and a lifetime guarantee on all makes and models. Since 1953, RainSoft has served our customers with prompt, courteous delivery. Stop in today for your free salt card. Trade-ins accepted.
The 5-day business planner here on the Weather Channel at 20 minutes after every hour. You get a comprehensive national report that covers the forecast over the next 5 days. Watch the 5-day business planner coming up soon on the Weather Channel. Now, your local forecast, accurate and dependable from the Weather Channel. Coming up, a look at your local radar. But first, the 36-hour forecast from the National Weather Service. Special regional information. The regional forecast. The current local radar showing any precipitation in your area. Intensity is indicated by the color code at the top of the screen.
This quality adjustable bed costs 50% less than these 3 quality flatbeds. 50% less. Yet Craftmatic offers these advantages over flatbeds. First, it adjusts electrically at the touch of a button, so you can read in bed, watch TV in bed, snack, chat on the phone, do a crossword puzzle, and relax and sleep in wonderful comfort. Plus, if you suffer from low back pain or edema or swelling of the legs, unlike any ordinary flatbed, an adjustable bed may temporarily provide relief. Call toll-free to receive this free adjustable bed catalog by mail. Get the facts about the adjustable bed that costs 50% less than all 3 of these quality flatbeds. 50% less. Call for your free catalog now.
Call toll-free 1-800-831-2500. That's 1-800-831-2500. Call toll-free 1-800-831-2500.
Well, in the east today, if you don't have to travel, you probably shouldn't, because roadways are still a mess in many areas this morning due to the massive storm system, the blizzard of 93 over the last couple of days. So roads are in bad shape around Atlanta, Georgia. Now, if you have to travel, here's what you can expect weather-wise. That is diminishing snow in the northeast. But with so much snow having fallen in the last 24 hours, many of the secondary roads are in terrible shape. And we have reports of 10 to 12-foot snow drifts in parts of Pennsylvania and New York State. And there have been some interstates closed in the mid-Atlantic region. No word on whether those are open yet. There was one in western Virginia and another one in West Virginia, I believe. Nice weather through the nation's midsection. No travel problems here. If you're heading over the mountain passes in the west, look out for some wet snow. The Sierra Nevada, Donner Summit in California, over some of the Cascade passes and into the central mountains of Idaho, snow in the higher elevations, above 6,000 to 7,000 feet. Valley areas will have rain showers, so expect some wet roads in the green shaded region. No problems with thunderstorms today, but the winds will be brisk on the front range of the Rockies and all of the eastern quarter of the nation, with gusts to 30 to 50 possible.
How many bowls of this cereal would it take to equal the nutritional value of the fresh fruit, eggs, grits, and bacon on Shoney's breakfast bar? Well, it depends on how big your bowl is. Cereal, bananas, peaches, melons, fruit salad, cottage cheese, bacon, scrambled eggs, sausage, potatoes, blueberry muffins, biscuits, country milk gravy, grits.
Shoney's Breakfast Bar, the best breakfast in town.
What makes Jiffy Lube America's favorite oil change? Over 45,000 satisfied customers a day say it's because of the service. You get trained technicians who take good care of you and your car, plus the performance, protection, and quality of Pennzoil motor oil. So you get top quality service. You and your car deserve the best. So take it to number 1. Take it to Jiffy Lube.
Drive in every 3,000 miles.
What do you do when you travel? What do you see when you travel? Then what makes you think the Travel Channel is just travel? The Travel Channel, more than a place to go, it's the place to be.
For more information on the Travel Channel, please call your local cable system.
Now, your local forecast, accurate and dependable from the Weather Channel. Coming up, a look at your local radar. But first, the 36-hour forecast from the National Weather Service. Extended forecast. The current local radar showing any precipitation in your area. Intensity is indicated by the color code at the top of the screen.
In the 5-day business planner, one thing's for sure, we probably will not see a storm of the magnitude of the blizzard of 93 over the next 5 days. But we will have some wintry weather continuing. Also parts of the country where spring is trying to take hold. And you'll see the details here on the 5-day outlook. Let's start with today. The blizzard of 93, as it's being called, one of the biggest storms, if not the biggest storm this century for the East Coast, headed out to northern Maine and then to the Canadian Maritimes by this afternoon. Filling in behind it, some strong gusty winds with snow showers over the northeast and some minor, in comparison, additional accumulations. Although there may be some locally heavy snow squalls in the lee of Lake Ontario through the morning and into the afternoon. High pressure returns in the southeast, clear skies, diminishing winds, and moderating temperatures, while to the west we see precipitation moving in off the Pacific Ocean in a showery fashion from northern California into Nevada and on into the northern Rockies. It'll be rain showers in the valley and snow in the higher terrain. This is the situation for early Monday as you're heading back to work or school, and again high pressure returns to the east coast. That includes New England, where the winds will be brisk but skies mostly fair to start things off. A few showers for South Texas tomorrow morning, and then we head to the plains where a strong warm front will be whipping through the Dakotas, Nebraska, and eastern Kansas early in the day tomorrow. Behind that front, some nice, mild, spring-like air for Rapid City and Denver and places like Omaha, perhaps by Monday afternoon. Let's check it out in terms of the temperatures. Now, we'll start with today, and it's a sure bet it's going to be cold in the east. You can see the 30s all the way down to Birmingham in Alabama and Macon in Georgia, while New England will be in the single digits, teens, and 20s today. Cold and wintry in the Great Lakes, too. The plains start to see a little bit of a moderation, but nothing like the southwest deserts where temperatures will top out in the 70s and 80s, and that'll be the case to start the week as well. Here's that warm-up in the plains I was talking about. As the warm front comes through, southwest winds push readings to the 50s at Rapid City, at Broken Bow, Nebraska, 60s Oklahoma City, and 70s down around Austin and Texas. But there's a cold front sweeping in behind that warm front, so temperatures take a drop, and then the cold air swings on towards the Great Lakes and towards the northeast by the end of the week. Now, precipitation should be scattered tomorrow. Some light snow, North Dakota and Minnesota. A few rain showers coming out of the Gulf. And on those southerly winds, showers will reach Alabama, Tennessee, and Georgia on Tuesday. The rain shower variety with a mix of rain and snow for the Great Lakes midweek, on into the northeast on Wednesday and off the east coast for Thursday.
A piano is often considered the biggest challenge a moving company faces. As the official mover for Steinway & Sons pianos, Wheaton Worldwide Moving met that challenge by moving the 500,000th Steinway on a year-long tour of the U.S. without a scratch. With the same care and attention to detail, Wheaton professionals will move what's most important to you and your family. For our free money-saving brochure, call 1-800-248-4810.
For information on how Wheaton can orchestrate your next move, call our customer services representative at 1-800-248-4810.
There's a reason more people go to Sears for a new battery.
Can't believe I left my lights on.
Only Sears has the Die Hard. Sears is so confident of Die Hard starting power, if you need a jump, Sears will do it absolutely free. Anytime, anywhere, even if you leave your lights on.
Got stranded once. Never again.
You can count on Die Hard. More power when you need it most.
And the wind chill report is sponsored by the beaches of St. Pete Clearwater, only 90 minutes from Walt Disney World Resort. Let's begin with a look at the temperature, the actual temperatures. Nothing about the wind yet, but we can see that readings are very cold in the south. Look at 20 Birmingham, 19 degrees in Atlanta. We're down to 9 at Detroit, 7 degrees at Buffalo this morning, 20 at New York City. That's not too bad for March, but the winds are very strong in the northeast. So when you combine the wind, the temperature of 20 and the wind speed up to 30 to 35 miles an hour in the New York City area, you get a wind chill of 22 below. That's how it feels on exposed skin out of doors. It's the same at Burlington, Vermont. The wind chill is 30 below zero at Buffalo, New York, and minus 23 at Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and below zero by 6 degrees even as far south as Atlanta, Georgia. And Florida is not immune from this cold wave. The wind chill at Tampa, St. Pete right now is 21 degrees, 19 at Little Rock, 0 in Omaha, Nebraska. Coldest chill factors tomorrow, New York State and New England from 20 to 40 below zero.
Visit the beaches of St. Petersburg, Clearwater, Florida, where the magic lasts a lifetime. Call 1-800-888-2227.
The beaches of St. Petersburg, Clearwater, where the magic lasts a lifetime.
Now for the Cyanide Society, here's Michael Learned.
Because I have sinus problems just like you, I want you to know about Maximum Strength Cyanide Gel Caps, the most potent pain and pressure reliever in cyanide history, combined with state-of-the-art gel cap technology. So you get powerful sinus relief that's easy to swallow and won't cause drowsiness. It really works for me, and I hurt just like you. Maximum Strength Cyanide Gel Caps, the potency of cyanide in a patented gel cap.
Now, your local forecast, accurate and dependable from the Weather Channel.
Well, the blizzard of 93 is moving out of the area this morning. The snow has pretty much come to a halt, but the storm is still going to produce strong and gusty winds, very low wind chill factors, and just in general, a very wintry day across the tri-state region. Let's get to the details now. We'll begin with the almanac page, which includes our normal high and low, and the records, which include a 75 back in 1946 and a 12 in 1888. Behind the blizzard of 88, some cold air came down, and that one was when the record was established. 10 inches of new snow at Central Park, and that was a record daily snowfall, I think, for the 13th of March yesterday. Right now, it's 20 degrees, winds out of the west, gusting to 32. That's putting our wind chill factor down below zero, so you'll want to dress for the chill factor when you're headed out. And today will continue to be windy, with gusts to 50 miles an hour possible. The pressure's rising, and skies now are partly cloudy, partly sunny. Elsewhere across the tri-state area, it's a mix of clouds and sun, still a few snow flurries, mainly confined to the Catskills and northwest hills of New Jersey and on up over southwestern New England, western sections of Connecticut. But elsewhere, the clouds are beginning to break up just a bit. Again, winds are strong out of the west and northwest, and with temperatures in the teens and low 20s, it is an extremely cold mid-March day, and it sure doesn't feel like the first day of spring is only 6 days away on the calendar, at any rate. Satellite view this morning shows the swirling clouds over the region. Now, the storm center is moving away at a pretty good pace now. It crossed eastern Connecticut early this morning, but is now up towards Eastport in Maine and is tracking rapidly towards the Canadian Maritimes. It'll cross New Brunswick this morning and heading up towards Newfoundland later on this afternoon. Now, the Maine snow area has lifted up into far northern New York State and northern New England, and that's where it'll stay before it moves into southeastern Canada within the next few hours. Behind the storm, the winds are whipping up. We'll see an occasional flurry or snow shower, but any additional accumulation in our area probably will be 1 inch or less. As far as the forecast is concerned, here's the picture Monday morning, and you can see the storm is off the map. It's gone. High pressure moving in from the west and southwest should mean a fair, breezy start to the day on Monday. So the road crews are probably going to get a good workout today, clearing out the roads, and if you're heading in for rush hour or headed back to school tomorrow, things should be in fairly good shape considering. If you're traveling elsewhere in the nation, not much going on. A few showers South Texas, a few rain and snow showers out in the west. Northwest and southwest should be dry and sunny. Places like LA, Phoenix, and Salt Lake City. Here's our forecast for today. Look for winds and clouds, occasional peaks of sun, a few snow flurries or snow showers, highs in the 20s, wind chills below 0. Clearing up tonight, sunshine, lighter winds tomorrow.
This is the Weather Channel. Weather you can always turn to for accurate weather forecasts at your convenience 24 hours a day.
Well, good Sunday morning. Thanks for tuning into the Weather Channel. It is 9:30 in the east, 6:30 a.m. in the west. Rick Griffin here. Will Annan will be checking in just a few minutes. Now, right now, let's check out current weather, and we'd like to start with the satellite in motion, which shows a couple of things. First of all, it shows that not all of the nation is stormy. In fact, we have a nice swath of clear skies through the midsection of the lower 48. Right from the north end to the south end of the Mississippi, skies are clear this morning. Out to the west, we have clouds moving in off the Pacific. There's a little light rain in California, in Nevada and Utah, and in southwestern sections of Arizona. But this is just a minor weak system as compared to the blizzard of '93, which of course started out in the Gulf of Mexico, northeast Gulf of Mexico, Saturday morning, and has taken a track up along the east coast and is now located in Maine and soon to be up in the Canadian Maritimes and pulling away from the United States. Of course, in its wake, it left behind record snowfall, record low barometric pressure, wind gusts in the 50 to 100 mile-per-hour range, and all sorts of travel headaches in the eastern part of the country. It certainly will be a remembered storm over the years. Let's get a look at the surface map this morning, and there goes the low pressure. It's between Portland and Eastport in Maine now, moving off to the northeast rather quickly, and again should be moving into New Brunswick in eastern Canada fairly shortly. Now, even though the low pressure center is moving up that way, the backlash behind it is extensive. You can see how closely packed the isobars are in here, the lines of equal pressure, and when you see that, that means the winds are going to be howling, and they will do that all day long. New England, New York, Pennsylvania, down into the mid-Atlantic and the Carolinas too. Wind gusts of 50 to 60 miles an hour are certainly not out of the question. Now, one thing that's let up is the snowfall. The heaviest snow now can find in northern Maine and in the Lee along the southern edge of Lake Ontario, where there's a little bit of lake enhancement. But otherwise, the snow is let up to just very light snow or snow flurries, and additional accumulations should be quite light. But this storm has had quite a history. It started out early Saturday with some very hefty snows in Alabama and northwest Georgia, and the area of 1 foot or more stretches up through New York State and covers much of New England as well. Now, we have some video. We picked out one spot, Western Virginia, Roanoke, Virginia. This is on Saturday. 16 inches of snow fell in Roanoke area, and up to 25 inches reported on the hills nearby. And of course, it was a heavy wet snow, so there were problems with trees falling on roadways and power lines, and certainly a very, very hefty snowfall there in West Virginia. But nothing like Syracuse, New York, where the total now has reached 32 inches. 25 inches at Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Portland, 18 inches, and LaGuardia Airport in New York City received 11 inches, mostly during the daylight hours yesterday. Chattanooga, look at that, 21. That's an all-time 24-hour snowfall record for any month of the year. Knoxville, 15 inches. Marietta, Georgia, northwest of Atlanta, 9 inches of new snow. And we've had some unofficial reports this morning of 40 inches of new snow in the mountains of West Virginia. And I can't forget to mention that the top of Mount Mitchell, North Carolina, received an official storm total of 37 inches on top of the highest mountain east of the Rockies. Here's some record lows in the wake of the storm. Birmingham, Alabama, bottomed out at 2 degrees. Huntsville at 12. Asheville, 17. Meridian, 17 degrees. And even way down south at Daytona Beach, it was frosty and 31. You can see the cold air coming in on the northwest winds into Florida. As high pressure pushes in, it'll be another cold night tonight. Otherwise, it's a fairly quiet morning in the south compared to yesterday at this time, and with the sunshine, temperatures will warm up. Quiet weather in the plains, too, and in much of the Rocky Mountain region and the southwest. But it is a little wet in California from Ontario to Merced and Fresno up to Redding and Red Bluff, and there are spitzes of rain and flurries of snow in the Pacific Northwest. Right now, it's 44 at Portland. It's 60 degrees at L.A. and San Diego and Phoenix, Arizona. 21 Kansas City. It's 10 at Detroit and at Burlington. And it's 22 degrees this morning at Atlanta, Georgia, while it's a cool and breezy 50 degrees at Miami, Florida, with a wind chill in South Florida of 38 degrees. Good morning forecast. And there goes the blizzard of 93 up to New Brunswick. It's off the map by Monday morning, being replaced by high pressure over much of the east. In the west, we'll see moisture heading in off the Pacific. Rainfall amounts could reach an inch along the northwest California coast and west of the coastal range in Oregon and in western Washington state, with some snow in the higher terrain. An additional snowfall with the northeast storm could be 6 inches or so in northern Maine, but elsewhere in the 1 to 2 to 3 inch range. High temperatures today. Look at that cold air sinking to the south. Behind the storm on the northwest winds, look for 30s in central Alabama and central Georgia. Very cold tonight. Chilly in the west, but mild in the deserts. 50s. 50s also over South Texas on Monday morning. Monday afternoon highs. Nice 80s. Spring has arrived in the southwest deserts. Palm Springs, Yuma, Tucson, and Phoenix. 70s for El Paso, San Antonio, and Brownsville. The southeast will moderate a little, reaching back to the 40s around Atlanta, helping to melt off a little bit of the snow, while the northeast and the Great Lakes remains in winter's grip with teens, 20s, and a few low 30s. I notice a bit of a moderation here in the southern plains on Tuesday and on Wednesday, a slight warm-up. Then another batch of cold air comes down behind a front into the Great Lakes and heads towards the northeast towards the end of the week on Thursday. No big storms on the forecast map tomorrow. The blizzard of 93 is gone. In its wake, a little trough of low pressure and a warm front bringing some light snow to the northern plains and Great Lakes and a few showers to the lower Mississippi Valley. Precipitation area expands a little bit as it heads for the east coast on Wednesday, and we see some additional rain and snow moving back into the west midweek.
Why is Embassy Suites twice the hotel? First, you get a suite with 2 big rooms. Evening beverages are on the house, not on the bill. And our cook-to-order breakfast is free of charge. Obviously, this isn't your typical hotel. It's twice the room, twice the comfort, and twice the value. And it's only at Embassy Suites. Twice the hotel. Call 1-800-EMBASSY.
For reservations at Twice the Hotel, call 1-800-EMBASSY.
Now, your local forecast, accurate and dependable from the Weather Channel.
Avoid unpleasant surprises when you travel. Watch international weather, accurate weather forecast for Europe at 41 after the hour, every day on the Weather Channel.
Hi, I'm Lorenzo Quinn. I've been telling you about incredible opportunities now opening up to collectors of authentic, limited edition prints signed by Salvador Dali. Since his passing in 1989, the value of many of his works have proven to be an intelligent acquisition. That is why, in collaboration with the Salvador Dali Archives, this full-color catalog was created that contains over 350 of Dali's greatest limited edition prints. It is an indispensable guide to anyone interested in documented, authentic print works of Salvador Dali. So whether you are an established collector or just thinking of getting started, I urge you to call now for information on how to acquire this important catalog. Every caller will receive a free copy of the Salvador Dali Collector's Newsletter with all the latest information about exhibits, auctions, price trends, and much, much more. It's a $10 value, absolutely free, no obligation. So please call 1-800-4DELI. Thank you.
If you're just tuning into the Weather Channel, thanks for joining us. In about 10 minutes, we'll have the winter storm update. That is at 10 minutes before the hour. Right now, it's time for your weekend travel forecast, beginning with sunny and blustery Atlanta.
If you're between 45 and 75, listen to this message about guaranteed life insurance for less than $1 a day.
Patty said Dad's funeral cost over $5,000?
It was even more than that with all the other expenses.
Good Dad had that extra life insurance from the Mutual of Omaha companies.
I don't know what I would have done.
That's why Tom and I bought those guaranteed life policies. We didn't even have to take a physical.
You can get guaranteed life insurance for less than $1 a day. If you're 45 to 75, you can't be turned down or canceled. As you grow older, benefits won't decrease and rates will never increase. Don't wait. Call the Mutual of Omaha companies now, toll-free, to receive free information on guaranteed coverage. Review it in the privacy of your own home, and there's no risk or obligation. Call 1-800-351-9800 now for your free information. That's 1-800-351-9800.
Now, your local forecast, accurate and dependable from the Weather Channel. Coming up, a look at your local radar. But first, the 36-hour forecast from the National Weather Service. Extended forecast. The current local radar showing any precipitation in your area. Intensity is indicated by the color code at the top of the screen. From the Weather Channel, America's primary source for weather information, the Weather Classroom, a complete unit for teaching basic meteorology, climatology, and our environment. The Weather Classroom, an 80-page, fully illustrated textbook workbook with experiments and activities to let students enjoy a hands-on, up-close experience with weather. The Weather Classroom, a regular on-air program with exciting and dramatic examples of weather in action. Find out how you can offer the Weather Classroom to your students. Contact your local cable operator right away. It's not easy knowing how to dress your kids for school every day. Will it rain? Will it storm? Will it be cool? Will it be warm? Don't despair. Dressing your kids for school can be downright elementary when you watch the school day forecast on the Weather Channel. So make it a rule to see us before you see them off. The school day forecast, weekday mornings, 35 minutes after the hour on the Weather Channel. Weather you can always turn to.
The 1993 LeBaron convertible. Think of it as a Mercedes with an $85,000 rebate.
Chrysler Plymouth, a division of Chrysler Corporation, proudly sponsors the U.S. Men's and Women's Pro Ski Tour.
And here's a look at Ski Tips, which is sponsored by Chrysler Plymouth. In the car business, you lead, follow, or get out of the way.
Some days, this is one tough course. So is this. Whether you're on a downhill run or just a grocery run, you'll stay safe if you stay prepared. Before I get into the starting gate or the driver's seat, I check my equipment. Be sure there's clean contact between your boot and binding. Snow and ice buildup can interfere with the release mechanism. You want effective road contact too, and that means good tread, snow tires, even chains when appropriate. Body heat fogs goggles, so when you're not wearing them, keep them in an outside pocket. Because if your vision's impaired, your safety's impaired. Check your washer fluid and clean your wiper blades often. Downhill racing is all about forward motion, so don't buckle your boots too tightly. When you lean forward, your boots should give a little. But make sure this buckle is snug before you make your run.
Call the Weather Channel Connection, 1-900-WEATHER, before you hit the road, and you'll be prepared for any weather Old Man Winter brings.
A world of wildlife captured by the artists of Mill Pond Press, world's largest publisher of wildlife art. From northern hunting grounds, Carl Brender's Canadian lynx. From the desert Southwest, Sue Ellen Ross's red wolf. From the jungles of India, John Siri Lester's tiger. And from Brazil, Robert Bateman's black jaguar, shadow of the rainforest. World-class limited edition art prints from your Mill Pond Press dealer.
Visit one of the largest wildlife art galleries in the Northeast or call for a free color brochure.
Kitchens, bathrooms, custom furniture, friendly, knowledgeable staff, and more. That's what you'll find at Sparta Home Center. Housed in the Home Center are 7 businesses under one roof to help you with your home renovation. We have everything you need, from supplies and advice for the do-it-yourselfer to complete project management. Before you start your home renovation, stop and see us. Sparta Home Center, 160 Woodford Road, Sparta, your one-stop home renovation center.
You're watching the Weather Channel for accurate forecasts at your convenience. Weather you can always turn to. Now, your local forecast, accurate and dependable from the Weather Channel. Coming up, a look at your local radar. But first, the 36-hour forecast from the National Weather Service. Special regional information. The regional forecast. The current local radar showing any precipitation in your area. Intensity is indicated by the color code at the top of the screen.
Give me your money.
If this reminds you of the last seafood restaurant...
I like the watch.
...you ordered shrimp in, maybe you ought to try Shoney's.
Give me the ring. Now give me the toupee.
How's your Shoney spaghetti, Bobby?
Swell.
And how's your shrimp, dear?
Just swell. How's your steak, honey?
Swell.
I signed up for 2 lessons. Swell.
Shoney's Breakfast Bar, the best breakfast in town.
Now you needn't go to the symphony to hear the classics when you can own the collector's library of best-loved classics. This stupendous collection features every important category of classical music ever written. Best-loved overtures. Best-loved symphonies. Best-loved concertos. And best-loved dances. Plus, you'll get best-loved ballets and Best Love Piano Music. The Collector's Library of Best Love Classics is just $19.95. To order, call this toll-free number.
We are still tracking a very major winter storm off into central and northern parts of New England right now. In the wake of this very strong storm, we've seen some record chill this morning all the way down to the Gulf Coast, from the upper Texas coastline on over towards the southeast. It's going to be another chilly one tomorrow. Wherever you see the blue dots, that represents a record low this morning, including Birmingham, Alabama. They were down to 2 degrees above zero, thanks to a clear sky, also diminishing winds, and that great snow cover up to a foot in Birmingham, some places a little bit more. Look at Huntsville right now. They were down to 12 degrees. Huntington, West Virginia, 14, and the list goes on. Asheville, North Carolina was down to 17. Mobile, again, they saw a couple of inches of snowfall a few days back. 25 this morning. And look at Daytona Beach, Florida, 31 degrees, and it could be another very chilly one tomorrow over much of the southeast. We'll take a look at our current weather map, and we are going to show you a storm system which is now racing very rapidly towards the northeast. We've been watching the storm system, actually located right now into southwestern Maine. We'll show you that storm system speeding from New York, now located in its present location in southwestern Maine. Heavier snowfall now beginning to taper off over much of southern New England. But look at some of these numbers again. Syracuse, New York, 32 inches of snowfall. State College, PA, 26. Boston, Mass, 13, and around New York City, 11 inches of snowfall. This was the scene just 24 hours ago in New York, where they saw up to a foot of snowfall there. Then the snow turned into some sleet. A couple of inches of sleet fell in New York. Then it was back to rain overnight with a strong southerly wind. They were back to a westerly wind this morning, colder air, some light snow showers. It looks like the big concern now for New York for the rest of today is going to be the strong westerly winds. Could be damaging at times with winds gusting to 40 to 50 miles per hour. A possibility now from New York to Boston right through at least early this evening, with some winds rapidly diminishing after sunset tonight. Here's a look at our snow history again, all the way from northern Alabama into New England. The white shading means at least a foot of snow fell, in some locations more than a couple of feet. Wintry travel still confined to New England today, diminishing rapidly by early this evening, mostly Maine tonight. Then we'll focus our attention back towards the west. Looks like some more precipitation breaking out over the plains by Monday afternoon. Diminishing winds, especially later this afternoon and more like after dark tonight over New England, but they will still be rather strong. So once again, we'll check on your good morning forecast. We'll show you what's going to be happening for the rest of the day, and you can see that storm system, which is now rapidly racing towards the northeast, already into southern Maine, heading off towards the northeast very rapidly. So it looks like by early morning tomorrow, less winds, but still very chilly. We'll focus our attention on another band of moisture, this time across the west, which does mean some more snowfall there, and the chill will continue over New England.
You know, our competitor is twice as likely to have a network outage. If you're trusting your important 800 calls to them, well, one of the 800 reasons to choose AT&T 800 service, the best in the business. What's worse than knowing your 800 service isn't working? Not knowing. AT&T will call you if we find your customers are having trouble reaching you. One of the 800 reasons to choose AT&T 800 service, the best in the business.
Now, your local forecast, accurate and dependable from the Weather Channel. Coming up, a look at your local radar. But first, the current local conditions. The regional forecast. Your local 36-hour forecast from the National Weather Service. Extended forecast. local radar, showing any precipitation and its movement during the past 90 minutes. Intensity is indicated by the color code at the top of the screen. Had a good start to your morning with this morning's weather, 25 and 58 minutes after every hour, between 5 a.m. and 11 a.m. Eastern, only on the Weather Channel.
And now it's time for the Michelin Drivers Report, brought to you by Michelin and your participating Michelin dealers.
Here's a look at our Michelin trouble spot. Again, watch out throughout much of northern Maine. Our storm system, which was over just before sunrise over right around Long Island, New York, is rapidly racing towards the northeast. It's already in the southwestern Maine. Still looking at a heavier burst of snow or two right around Syracuse, New York. But again, things are beginning to lighten up here. Snowfall intensity-wise, not with the winds. We're still looking at some very strong winds. Traveling not recommended at all anywhere from Pennsylvania on towards the north. It's going to be a rough go. But by late tonight, it looks like only Maine, and especially northern and eastern Maine, will be looking at still some light to moderate snowfall. Then we'll pick up some more snowfall crossing the northern Rockies by Monday. But still watch out for those gusty winds over the eastern part of the country. They could be gusting better than 40 to 50 to 60 miles per hour from New York City to Boston on northward. It's going to be blowing around snowfall amounts that have been rather incredible. Syracuse now up to 32 inches and Pittsburgh 25.
For regional Michelin drivers reports, call the Weather Channel Connection, 1-900-WEATHER.
High-performance cars. Luxury performance cars. Family cars. Light trucks. If you've got the car, we've got the tire. Michelin. Because so much is riding on your tires.
Find Michelin tires at this dealer near you because so much is riding on your tires.
Now, your local forecast, accurate and dependable from the Weather Channel.
And good morning, Tri-State. A very rough last 24-hour period. Looks like some more rough weather coming up this afternoon because of blowing and drifting snow and very low wind chill values. Normally this time of the year, a high of around 49. Forget about that one today. A low near 34 tomorrow morning. It'll be much colder than that. The record 75 back in 1946. The record low 12 back in 1888. And we've seen 10 inches of snow around Central Park. Some areas, of course, to the north and west, a lot more than that. Right now in Central Park, 20 degrees, humidity 47%. We're looking at westerly winds gusting to 32 with a rising barometer. The sky partly cloudy and the wind chill 5 degrees below zero. It's going to get worse this afternoon as the temperature continues to hover right into the 20s to around 30 degrees, and the winds will become stronger. Here's a look at our current situation. We're looking at some breaks in the overcast at the present hour. Our storm system, which just before sunrise this morning was just beginning to cross right across central Long Island, is now rapidly beginning to move off towards the north. And at this hour, located right over southwestern Maine, right about right here, still looking at some gusty and squally weather as far westward to Syracuse, New York, with this massive storm system. Here's the low pressure system itself. You can see it's rapidly racing towards the northeast. So it looks like the heavier bands of snow, which have been developing and moving through much of New England during the last 24 hours, will give way mostly just to some very light snow or snow showers this afternoon, flurries tonight, but the windy weather, you can see the packing of the isobars here. That's going to mean some more very strong west and northwesterly winds will continue right through tonight, diminishing winds about sunrise tomorrow morning, and it will still be breezy tomorrow, but not nearly as bad as what we're going to see this afternoon. And again, watch out for that blowing and drifting of the snowfall throughout much of the area. Here's a look at early morning tomorrow. High pressure does begin to settle over the southeastern part of the country. Still very cold weather here. Looks like numerous airport delays will continue tomorrow from Boston to New York and Philly all the way down towards Atlanta, Georgia, which is trying to melt off some of its snowfall, which was anywhere between 5 and 10 inches in the deep south. And you can see some more light precipitation scattered out west. Forecast highs this afternoon, 20s at best. Could see some mid to upper 20s in a couple of locations with a break or two in the overcast. But forecast lows tomorrow with some diminishing winds, single numbers in teens. And looks like our best chance of looking at more precipitation about next Wednesday or Thursday. A chance of some more light rain or snow, or light rain mixing with snow. And watch out for Wednesday. We'll turn a little bit windier again with highs in the 40s beginning to drop.
You're watching the Weather Channel. Weather you can always turn to for accurate, dependable weather forecasts 24 hours a day.
This morning's weather is sponsored by 100% Colombian coffee, the richest coffee in the world.
And we'll check on once again what's happening around the country. You can see as we look at our national view, we're looking at some very gusty winds, which are still buffeting much of New England at the present hour. We'll show you some of that snowfall too, which has been rather incredible. But first of all, we're going to show you some of the snowfall rates, which are still rather incredible now from Syracuse, New York on northward. Now, a few hours back, just before sunrise, this storm system was located right around New York City. It is racing towards the northeast. It looks like by later this afternoon, much of the heavier snowfall is going to be gone across New England. There could be a heavier snow band or two, but overall, it looks like only windy weather and blowing snow. That's going to be the big problem. In the deep south this morning, some record chill all the way from the upper Texas coastline, all the way into parts of Alabama and Georgia and Florida too. Heading back towards the western seaboard, big ridge of high pressure here is finally beginning to break down. It will turn wetter here and whiter as well over the next several days. But check on our big storm again over much of New England and look at some of these numbers. Almost incredible to think this could happen in March. Really any time of the year, this would be a massive storm. Syracuse, New York, 32 inches of snowfall. Albany, 27. State College, at least 26, maybe an inch or two more than that. Burlington, 19 and still climbing. Boston, Massachusetts, 13 inches of snowfall. Despite some rain overnight, we can show you exactly what's happened with this storm system. Where you see the white shading, we're talking about at least a foot of snow on the ground. In many locations, much more than that, 2 or 3 feet. It started late Friday afternoon across parts of Mississippi around Tupelo, some heavier snow showers there. It really cranked up Friday night and Saturday morning across the Tennessee Valley into northwestern Georgia. It rained much of the night in Atlanta, Georgia, about 1.5 inches of rainfall. Quickly turned to snow just before sunrise, and we're looking at major power outages still in effect now from Atlanta, Georgia, all the way up into parts of New England, including the Washington, D.C. area, which experienced some hurricane-force winds. It looks like it's going to be a slow commute tomorrow anywhere from the Tennessee Valley on northward, and we're talking about some major airport delays that will continue from Boston to New York to Philly, all the way down to Atlanta, Georgia, especially during the rush hour tomorrow morning in that part of the country. We're going to show you what happened in New York City during the last 24 hours as well. This was the scene in the Big Apple yesterday afternoon. Heavy snow was beginning to pile up, anywhere between 10 inches to about a foot of snowfall. Then by late afternoon, that snowfall gave way to some heavy sleet for a period. Some people saw at least 1 to 2 inches of sleet. Then it was back to rain overnight as the storm system was nearing New York City itself. Temperatures aloft and also at the surface became much, much warmer on southwesterly winds, and now they're back to some light snow flurries. In the wake of our big storm system, we saw some record chill. You see the blue dots on the map that represents the city, which did report a record low this morning, and we're talking about some of these cities, like Birmingham, Alabama, which was down to 2 degrees this morning. Peoria, Illinois in the Midwest was down to 6. Huntsville down to 12. And we'll take a look at a couple of more, like Asheville, North Carolina. Tremendous snowpack on the ground, 17. In Mobile, Alabama, which saw a couple of inches of snowfall 2 days ago, they were down to 25. So again, a lot of chilly weather across that part of the country. We'll check on your good morning forecast. Here we go. We'll check on what's going to be happening by later this afternoon. And by midday today, well, we're saying that the storm system is going to be over central or southeastern Maine. That's where it is right now, racing on towards the north. You can say goodbye to much of the heavier snowfall in this part of the country by later this afternoon, and especially by sunrise tomorrow morning, with some dramatically diminishing winds as well. Watch out for gusty winds this afternoon that could be up to 50 to 60 miles per hour from New York City on northward, but we'll be looking at a much nicer day tomorrow, just in time to dig out. A good chance of more precipitation not only for much of New England this afternoon, but also across the west. Strong disturbance will be heading down from British Columbia, cruising along the Washington and Oregon coastline. Could be a thunder shower there. Snow in the higher terrain. It looks like only northern Maine now is going to bear the brunt of any heavier snowfall, which could still be another 6 to 9 inches by 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. Our forecast highs in this Sunday afternoon, single numbers in teens over much of the northeastern part of the nation, and we're stuck into the 30s well down into Dixie, Alabama, and Georgia here. Some nicer weather back into California. It's been cloudier there overnight with a couple of showers around. Forecast lows begin to bottom out across New England tomorrow morning. Then over the next several days, finally some warming weather for Texas, Louisiana, and Alabama and Georgia. That'll melt the snow as we look at some 60s around Atlanta by Wednesday and Thursday. And looks like as far as any precipitation, weak systems for the most part beginning to move across the country. Maybe some more icy weather for Pittsburgh by Tuesday afternoon. And by Wednesday, another stronger system for the far northwest.
More and more people are waking up to Juan Valdez and his 100% Colombian coffee. And so can you.
Buenos dias.
Just look for Juan on the label when you're shopping. You can't miss him. 100% Colombian coffee. The richest coffee in the world.
Look for the symbol of Juan Valdez on these fine 100% Colombian coffee brands.
Now, your local forecast, accurate and dependable from the Weather Channel. Coming up, a look at your local radar. But first, the current local conditions. The regional forecast. Your local 36-hour forecast from the National Weather Service. Extended forecast. Your local radar showing any precipitation and its movement during the past 90 minutes. Intensity is indicated by the color code at the top of the screen.
Avoid unpleasant surprises when you travel. Watch international weather. Accurate weather forecast for Europe at 41 after the hour every day on the Weather Channel.
This skier's forecast is sponsored by Visa. It's everywhere you want to be. Check on a couple of developing systems in the west. One is already beginning to move into the Sierra Nevada of California. A stronger system offshore of Oregon and Washington will come on shore this afternoon. Maybe a thunderstorm or two along the coast. In the higher terrain, that's going to enhance some of the snowfall in the Cascades of Washington and Oregon, and maybe into the extreme northern sections of the Sierra Nevada of California. Otherwise, we'll show you what's been happening during the last couple of days. Not too much across the west. Looks like Breckenridge reported an inch of new snowfall, as well as a couple of other locations like Steamboat and Mount Bachelor and North Star in California. Here comes our forecast now coming up during the next 24 hours. One system now moving on board could cause some more snowfall from, let's say, the Sierra Nevada of California northward. Not a major big deal here, and some of that moisture will begin to move across the Wasatch Range of Utah and could produce an inch or two of snowfall here, as well as the Colorado Rockies. But again, not a major system. By Monday afternoon, here comes a stronger system coming into northern California. That could enhance some of the snowfall over the Sierra Nevada of California. Sticks around until Tuesday. It looks like some more moisture after that by Wednesday and Thursday.
ski conditions at over 400 other ski areas, call 1-900-WEATHER.
Just a hoot and a holler from Nashville's Grand Ole Opry is another place that's home to musicians from all over the world. It's Groon Guitars, where they sell rare and vintage instruments to everyone from Johnny Cash to Motley Crue. So if you go, remember, bring your pick and your Visa card. Because at Groon, you can take your licks on a 1939 Martin, but you can't take it home with American Express. Yeah. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
You can use your Visa card at the Pearl Vision Center nearest you.
It's tough to keep ahead of the competition. You gotta move fast to stay on top. You need two-day priority mail. In 2 days, we deliver 2 pounds for only $2.90. If the competition's new rates are just too much, visit your post office to send 2-day priority mail or call 1-800-USPS for your free starter kit. We deliver for you.
Now, your local forecast, accurate and dependable from the Weather Channel. Coming up, a look at your local radar. But first, the 36-hour forecast from the National Weather Service. Extended forecast. The current local radar showing any precipitation in your area. Intensity is indicated by the color code at the top of the screen.
How many bowls of this cereal would it take to equal the nutritional value of the fresh fruit, eggs, grits, and bacon on Shoney's breakfast bar? Well, it depends on how big your bowl is. Cereal, bananas, peaches, melons, fruit salad, cottage cheese, bacon, scrambled eggs, sausage, potatoes, blueberry muffins, biscuits, country milk gravy, grits.
Shoney's Breakfast Bar, the best breakfast in town.
Our major and also our paralyzing snowstorm for New England is rapidly becoming coming to an end right now, slowly but surely, as we look at New York State and Pennsylvania. A lot of snowfall is still on the ground, and gusty winds will mean blowing and drifting in the snow. But our big storm system, which was located before sunrise right around New York City, is rapidly beginning to move northward. Now it's located right around Holton, Maine, in northeastern Maine, and it's moving on towards the north and northeast very, very rapidly. Still looks like some more snowy travel, to be sure. We'll be looking at some more light snow showers or snow flurries, but of course it's going to be the blowing and drifting of the snowfall. That's going to be the major problem this afternoon. Sunday night, maybe still some more light snow left over northern Maine, but again, that's going to be rapidly coming to an end. Looks like we'll be shifting our attention back towards the west with another weaker system here. Maybe some more snow showers there, but again, watch out this afternoon. We're looking at some strong gusty winds from New York City to Boston to Providence, up into much of the state of Maine. Increasing winds there. That would cause a lot of blowing and drifting of snow, like around Syracuse, which now has 32 inches of snow on the ground.
It's getting rave reviews. Business Week calls 1-900-WEATHER tops in the field. Call before you travel. 95 cents a minute, 1-900-WEATHER.
Do you suffer from morning stiffness or aches, snoring, restless sleep? You deserve a better night's sleep. Try the Contour Pillow from Comfort Track. It's anatomically designed to match the natural shape of your neck and head as it aligns and supports. Ordinary and down pillows lose their shape and don't support your neck. Don't do this to your neck. The Contour Pillow comfortably supports your neck so your muscles can relax, reducing strain and allowing you to breathe more freely.
My husband isn't snoring any longer.
I did notice when I woke up after using the Contour Pillow a lack of stiffness in my upper shoulder and neck area.
The Contour Pillow is not available in stores. Doctors and chiropractors sell similar products for $50 and even $60. Get your Contour Pillow for only $19.95 plus shipping and handling. Don't wait until you have discomfort. Order now. Call now to order, and we'll give you the zippered washable cover, a $5 value, free.
Have your credit card ready. Call now. 1-800-772-6600. That's 1-800-772-6600. Or send check or money order to the address on your screen.
If you're about to travel, watch the 5-Day Business Planner here on the Weather Channel at 20 minutes after every hour. You get a comprehensive national report that covers the forecast over the next 5 days. Watch the 5-Day Business Planner coming up soon on the Weather Channel. Now, your local forecast, accurate and dependable from the Weather Channel. Coming up, a look at your local radar. But first, the 36-hour forecast from the National Weather Service. Special regional information. The regional forecast. The current local radar showing any precipitation in your area. Intensity is indicated by the color code at the top of the screen.
There's a tornado coming to your video library. Now, a new title from the Weather Channel that you can own on video, The Enemy Wind. 45 minutes of tornado action and 2 thrilling stories. First, follow the exploits of a fearless storm chaser and photographer as he documents the fury of the storm. Then, the Weather Channel production that takes you inside the destructive force of a tornado, The Enemy Wind. How the storm is forecast and the tale of one tornado town. Plus, at no extra charge, the Weather Channel 1993 Tornado Calendar. 13 dramatic photos and dozens of amazing tornado tales. Call 1-800-525-6600 now, and you can own The Enemy Wind and the 1993 Tornado Calendar, all for just $19.95. Call 1-800-525-6600 now and charge by phone or send check or money order to the address on the screen. Call now.
And now here's a look at Earth Answers, which is sponsored by Phillips Petroleum, the performance company.
The environment may not be at the top of your mind when you're cooking at home, but maybe it should be. Your stove uses quite a lot of energy. 1 BTU, or British thermal unit, equals the energy in 1 matchstick. The average electric stove uses 2,200,000 BTUs per year. That's a lot of matches. A microwave uses 50% less energy for small portions or thawing, but your regular oven is more efficient for large things. Here's some other tips. Keep the oven closed throughout cooking. You lose 25 to 50 degrees every time you open the door. Glass or ceramic baking dishes hold the heat better than metal, so they're more efficient. And don't preheat the oven for more than 10 minutes. For more ways to save energy around your kitchen and your home, write to 30 simple things you can do to save energy. Phillips Petroleum Company, 16D1 Phillips Building, Bartlesville, Oklahoma. Please allow 4 to 6 weeks for delivery.
Under terms of the joint venture, Phillips Petroleum will match the yearly contributions of the states of Texas, Oklahoma, Colorado, Kansas, and New Mexico. Ducks Unlimited will disperse these funds to secure, preserve, and enhance the migrating and vital breeding grounds of the Playa Lakes region. Charlie?
This commitment from Phillips Petroleum comes from the belief that some investments have far bigger returns than others.
Now for the Cyanide Society, here's Michael Learned.
Because I have sinus problems just like you, I want you to know about Maximum Strength Cyanide Gel Caps, the most potent pain and pressure reliever in cyanide history, combined with state-of-the-art gel cap technology. So you get powerful sinus relief that's easy to swallow and won't cause drowsiness. It really works for me, and I hurt just like you. Maximum Strength Cyanide Gel Caps, the potency of cyanide in a patented gel cap.
What do you do when you travel? What do you see when you travel? Then what makes you think the Travel Channel is just travel? The Travel Channel, more than a place to go, it's the place to be.
For more information on the Travel Channel, please call your local cable system.
Now, your local forecast, accurate and dependable from the Weather Channel. Coming up, a look at your local radar. But first, the 36-hour forecast from the National Weather Service. Extended forecast. The current local radar showing any precipitation in your area. Intensity is indicated by the color code at the top of the screen.
And good morning, a busy Sunday morning indeed here at the Weather Channel. Let's take you to our radar picture and show you actually, finally, some good news. Check this out. The green indicating where we do still have the snow flurries, but things are starting to calm down. I mean, it has been a wild couple of days here at the Weather Channel as we've been trying to keep up with this storm system, and now this thing has just raced into northern Maine. Around Houghton, Maine is actually where the area of low pressure is, and we can see how the flurries are just diminishing very quickly as this thing moves away. But don't let that fool you, because we've got some wraparound moisture coming in, so parts of western Maine are really going to get hammered yet this afternoon as we continue to watch this thing. By midday, it moves, actually, it's already here, so this thing will be off the map quickly. And then we're going to see the strong northwest and westerly winds coming in behind this, and they're going to be very gusty, so of course that's going to mean some very brutal wind chills, as wind chills are going to drop down to about 30 below zero. So folks, let's stay home today. Don't hit the roadways, because they're advising absolutely no travel across the northeast as this thing moves up and out of here. In the west, well, we've got some showers now spreading from Seattle down throughout the Dalles, down toward Astoria, even some fog problems as well. So we're going to watch as a couple of systems come on shore today and tomorrow, and this will bring some gusty winds across the plains, the upper Midwest, and will affect, yes sirree, the northeast again by Wednesday with some rain and snow. But it's not going to be anywhere near as fierce as what we just saw. High pressure by tomorrow morning in the southeast builds in. That's going to spell freezing cold air for the northeast as we head into the next 24 hours. We're going to have several records set from Maine down to the southeast once again. Today, record lows falling by the wayside. That will be the case again tomorrow morning. Today is going to be no picnic with that fresh snow cover on the ground. Temperatures are going to bottom out, or actually they will stay in the 30s today, and they will bottom out in the teens again tonight. So extremely cold. And look at what happens in the eastern United States. 10 below zero or colder across parts of Maine with the fresh snow on the ground, the wind blowing. It's going to be a brutal day to be outside. Let's stay home and be safe there. The airport's still trying to get things in check, so it's going to be some time before you'll even be able to leave the area, probably at least until tomorrow. Temperatures start to moderate slightly across the southern United States, and probably in the next couple of days we're going to be talking about flooding problems, because all this snowpack that we have eventually is going to melt as temperatures come into the 60s and 70s. Therefore, there goes the snow, and here comes the rising creek. So we'll have to keep an eye on that for you. One system coming into the west today, on Monday moves into the midsections by Monday and into Tuesday. Here we go with a mix in western parts of Pennsylvania. More snow in the northeast Monday.
Four Seasons sunrooms add light, drama, and value to your most cherished possession, your home. Our sunrooms come in a variety of styles and designs, made to fit any home and budget, all built with the most advanced glass technology available. So enlighten your lifestyle with a quality Four Seasons sunroom, solarium, or patio room. Call our toll-free number today for additional information. Going on right now at participating Four Seasons showrooms. Get a factory rebate up to $1,500 on our most popular sunroom models.
Seasonal Solutions is sponsored by the Clorox Company, makers of the world's finest laundry products.
Here's Marnie Stanier.
When do you use your ceiling fan? In between seasons when you can get by without the air conditioner? Well, that's all, then you're missing out on energy savings. In the hottest weather, you should run the fan along with the air conditioner. The direct airflow creates a cooling wind chill effect on the skin. A 78-degree thermostat setting feels like 72. So with the fan on, you can raise your thermostat, still stay cool, and save energy. The fan uses no more electricity than a 100-watt light bulb. During winter cold, use the fan together with the heat. Switch the blade direction to clockwise. The reverse airflow forces warm air that has risen to the ceiling back downward. The room warms evenly and drafts disappear. So whether it's 32 or 92 degrees outside, turn on your ceiling fan and turn on year-round energy savings. I'm Marnie Stanier for the Weather Channel.
You touch it. Your body rubs against it. It's mildew. But you can kill it with Tilex. Tilex kills mildew and destroys the stain. Tilex. Don't let mildew ruin your shower.
Mothers have learned from countless doctors and pharmacists to take care of coughs with Robitussin. And they've taken this advice home. Robitussin recommended by Dr. Mom. Ask your doctor or pharmacist.
6 years ago, the city of Tampa had crumbling sewer pipes, and they started slip-lining them with Driscoll pipe from Phillips 66, extending their lifespan from 10 years to 50, and saving millions of tax dollars, which Tampa has no trouble finding better ways to spend. Solutions from Phillips 66, the performance company.
Now, your local forecast, accurate and dependable from the Weather Channel.
Good morning, Tri-State. It's a Sunday morning and it's chilly out there. And guess what? We've got some strong winds on tap for this afternoon. We've got high wind warnings in effect for our area today as we expect the wind chills to be brutally cold. Now that the storm is done, the snow is basically over, the cold air is going to move in, so temperatures will be falling all day long, and it's just going to be just a nasty day to be outside and on the roadways, so let's just stay home. Almanac page 49, 34, the normals for today, 10.2 inches of snow, Central Park, a new record for today. So with all this new snow on the ground, we're having problems with the roads being cleared this morning, and of course the airports have just been a wreck across the entire eastern United States. So definitely a good day to hang at home, relax, bake cookies, and maybe read a good book. 21 degrees currently at Central Park. We've got west winds gusting to 35 miles an hour. The wind chill right now is at 6 below zero, and we've got some light snow flurries in the region. And this is what the entire area looks like. Temperatures are holding in the 20s, even some teens. If you head to the north, it's dropping a couple of degrees around Newburgh. So as that cold air swings on in, the wind filters in, we're going to talk about very, very nasty wind chills for this afternoon. We'll see the winds diminishing slightly by tonight. Then the sunshine comes back at us tomorrow. But for today, very cold out there, and it's a dangerous situation to be out in. All right, satellite, please, and we'll take a look at what's going on here. Our area of low pressure has just rocketed to the north. We've got low pressure now centered over about Houghton, Maine, which is up in the northern part of Maine, and we're just getting the backlash or the circulation around the low pressure with some low clouds, some flurries here and there. We could see about an inch in our area before the thing is said and done, but indication of how cold the air is when you see these kind of popcorn-looking clouds moving over the ocean. That's very, very chilly air. So indeed, the flurries continue, but they're definitely diminishing throughout the area. Most of the heavy snow is now moving into parts of Maine and Vermont, New Hampshire. We'll see some lake-enhanced snows around Lake Ontario over towards Syracuse, but for us, just a flurry or two, and that's just about it. Back to the maps, show you where that area of low pressure is then. As I mentioned, it's moving very quickly. Notice all the lines. That's indicating where we do have the gusty winds with us today. And we're going to have, as I mentioned, west-northwest winds at about 50 miles an hour. So that's going to bring the wind chills down to about 30 below zero or greater. So let's stay indoors today. High pressure builds in, so near record lows will be the case around our region tonight. Into tomorrow morning, it's going to be a very chilly commute if you indeed get to work at all. It's going to be cold out there, and the roadways are going to be very, very treacherous as well. Temperatures today will remain in the 20s, not much warmer than what it is right now with a few flurries, and windy conditions right on through tonight as temperatures drop into the single digits to the north. Here comes a new storm in here by Wednesday.
This is the Weather Channel. Weather you can always turn to for accurate weather forecasts at your convenience 24 hours a day.
Good morning. Thanks for tuning into the Weather Channel. Waking Up Weather is sponsored by Mountain Grown Folgers Coffee. Folgers, the best part of waking up. Okay, folks, I tell you what, if you're waking up in the Northeast this morning, you're probably discovering the aftermath of the big storm as it roared on by. I know here in Atlanta, Georgia, where the Weather Channel is, the big headlines today have been this massive storm that has caused so much damage, so much snow. I mean, every record that you can imagine. It's kind of like following baseball statistics. I mean, there is a record for everything. Record low pressure, record lows, record snowfall, record snow on the ground. I mean, I could go on and on. We've just seen it all, and there's just too much information to pass along, so I'll do as best I can. All right, so the area of low pressure now up into Maine, and now we're just dealing with the very, very gusty winds coming in behind it. The west will pay some attention to you today. We've got some rain moving into California now, and up the coast, Seattle, a little bit of rain, snow in Spokane right now. As this system continues to move to the east, we're going to continue to see a couple of wet days in store for that portion of the country. High pressure now has moved all the way to the Gulf Coast, and that set the stage for some brutally cold air to settle across the southeast this morning, and we'll show you some of those record lows in a few seconds. A few patches of snow right now around Evansville, Indiana, and Henderson. We're reporting in with some slick roads here, and of course the slick roads are from east Kentucky all the way south. In fact, I believe I-75 passing through Kentucky is closed as you head out of Kentucky into Tennessee with all the record snows that we've seen. So here's our area of low pressure right now moving to the east. We'll take a look at our satellite picture right now, and we'll show you the spin in the clouds here as we watch this area of low pressure kind of zip up and out of here. And I want to show you something. These popcorn clouds that we see, this is an indication of very chilly air associated with this. And notice a lot of this stuff here. This is not cloud cover. This is where we're seeing the snows this morning. And lots of snow cover on the ground into the deep south as we see a lot of clouds all the way to the border of the Gulf. So certainly an unusual situation that we have seen. Snow flurries are tapering off quite nicely here. We could see anywhere from 1 to 2 inches, maybe 3 inches from West Virginia through New York. Aside from around Lake Ontario, we'll still see some lake-enhanced snows there, and also up into the northern parts of New England, Maine, over toward Vermont, we could still see quite a bit of snow there. But for the rest of the area, you're out of the clear as far as the snow, but you are not out of the clear as far as the wind and the wind chills, and even a possibility now as those winds kick up, they're going to be knocking down some of the branches off the trees that are holding those heavy snows, and that's going to indicate a possibility of some problems with some power outages. So keep that in mind today. Let's just stay off the roadways because we've had reports of closed roads all over the place. All right, taking you back to the maps then, we'll show you some snowfall totals then. We have seen record amounts of snow from this snowstorm. It's just been absolutely incredible. 32 inches of snow in Syracuse, Albany 27 inches there. Burlington, Vermont, you are now up to 22 inches and more on the way. Several of these have been all-time 24-hour total records from Pennsylvania on back toward Birmingham in Alabama. We've got snowy travel for you for most of the day, actually, throughout the Northeast. New snow now coming in from the system I showed you on the map earlier into the west, and that will expand into parts of Colorado tonight. But we notice that the snows quickly move into the Northeast, so by tomorrow morning, we should only see the snow remaining in extreme northern Maine and still the lake areas of Lake Ontario. Once again, the winds are going to be a problem today. I cannot stress enough, please stay off the roadways today, folks. I mean, they've declared state of emergencies in several states in the Northeast today where the roads are nearly impassable, with 5 to 10 foot drifts reported in several locations of Kentucky, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, New York State, and several of these locations, the airports basically have closed the doors until they get the runways back into condition. So no flights definitely leaving. You'll have to check ahead. If you do have a flight arranged today, make sure that you do call, because there's a good chance you're going to have to wait until tomorrow to even get out of the area. These are wind gusts in knots right now. 43 knots in New York City is comparable to about a 50-mile-per-hour wind gust. These are just gusts. So it shows you the very windy conditions continuing here. We've got 17 below on the wind chills. So these kind of wind chills, not a day to be outside traipsing around in the new snowfall, because some ground blizzards may whip up, and a snow squall here and there could catch you off guard. You could get lost and disoriented in the snow. So please be safe. Let's just stay home today. Here's some record lows. Record lows set from, oh boy, you know, Michigan all the way to North Carolina. These are just a couple of record lows that we can pass along to you. It's just been a brutally cold morning from Asheville, even down toward Daytona Beach, a record low this morning. Temperatures are not any quick to warm up as well across the south. We have got very, very chilly readings across the southeastern United States. 24 degrees currently in Atlanta. I mean, this is chilly. I mean, you know, you've got mid-March here. We should be talking about normal highs in the 60s, and here we got 20s. And that's due to the snow cover. It really cooled things down. 46 in Seattle right now. 38 is the wind chill there. And look at the brutal wind chills as the winds continue to howl throughout the area. All right, folks, we watch as this area of low pressure quickly moves out of the region. New system here spreads rain and snow throughout the west. High pressure builds in, so record lows will be a case tomorrow morning. We'll see some rains move onto the coast here. We could see upwards of, a tenth to about a half an inch of rain. The heaviest snows will be confined to northern parts of Maine, where we could see some of the western slopes of the mountains picking up another foot of snow. Temperatures today will not warm very nicely anywhere in the eastern United States. Tonight, temperatures dangerously cold with the wind chills. These are just air temperatures, so folks, please stay indoors today. Sit by the fire and just relax for a little bit. We're going to be slow to warm across the snowpack, and so by midweek possibly we'll see a chance of some of these temperatures starting to warm up a little bit across the deep south. We'll get you back more into a spring-like pattern by Thursday.
Every morning, everywhere, when the sun wakes up the sky, let go, just be there to open up your eyes. Nothing that around the world, waking you and me, waking everyone in harmony. Best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup.
Now, your local forecast, accurate and dependable from the Weather Channel. Coming up, a look at your local radar. But first, the current local conditions. The regional forecast. Your local 36-hour forecast from the National Weather Service. Extended forecast.